and sustainability. We're actually going to learn from onset to distinction. Yeah, I do welcome you to this webinar once again, to a webinar where we are going to enhance our expertise and make a positive impact in our different fields. I do welcome you once again to a place where we are going to equip ourselves with knowledge and tools to perform better in our different areas. Yes, just stay tuned because you're just in the right place, a home of professionals, amazing professionals led by the Safety and Health Association of Uganda. Yes, it's an association basically based in Uganda, but we normally advocate and work with the different organizations for a safe and healthy working nation. So we are looking onto that. And that's why we always organize several webinars. This is not the first of its kind, but we always bring on board different personnel to come and, yeah, we always learn from them on several occasions. And before we go into further details, at this moment, I open the floor for a safety moment. Do we have anyone from the audience? Just raise your hand and give us a safety moment to take us into our training of the day. Can I choose? Yes, Miss Gloria, you're welcome. I do see you. Ignatius, you're still welcome. Kindly let your friends know that we are on board. Let them join in. Kelvin Musei, you're also welcome. Mark, you're welcome. Yes, let's utilize the chat box. Let's utilize the chat box. You can type in where you're even joining from. Just type in where you're joining in from. Utilize the chat box. Yeah. Noel, you're most welcome. Let's type in the chat box. Just type in where you're joining in from. I currently see Kranima, you're also welcome. Evas Tumuhaise, you're welcome. Noel, you're welcome. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, I can see a great number. Let's inform our friends. I know it's coming maybe to lunchtime, but let's hint on them. Just call your friend to come on board. Oh, wow, Noel is from Kenya. I see a colleague from Dubai. This is amazing. It's amazing to have these professionals on board. Thank you so much. Yes, let's type in from where we are joining in from, please. Continue. It's amazing to have colleagues from across the globe. You can see Kenya, Dubai. I know we have several personnel from Uganda. You can still tell us where you are, or the part of Uganda where you are. Yes, the Pearl of Africa. Sylvester, amazing. You're welcome on board. And Gloria Ndagili is joining from Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. And she works with RSK Environment. Thank you so much for joining. Wow, I do see still my friends from Kenya, they're joining. Thank you so much. Dale Gracias, thank you so much for joining. I'll just beg apologies in case I don't pronounce your name the right way it should be, but I'm just amazed. I'm just grateful that you guys are joining. You're gracing this webinar where we're going to learn a lot. Actually, by the end of this webinar, we are going to fully learn a lot. You'll not regret having joined this webinar. Yes, come on, Isaac is from Kampala, Uganda. Thank you so much. Yes. For those who are just joining, just type in from where you're joining from. Oh, wow. Geotropic Consultant, thank you for representing it. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yes. Yes, I have a colleague. He's joining in from Bulisa, where I am currently. Thank you so much for joining in. Yes, guys, let's join in. Let's join in. Let's call on our friends to join in. It's just a few minutes that we are going to close the welcoming remarks. Patience, I do see you. You're welcome. Vincent, you're also welcome. Okay, so we were on the aspect of the safety moment. Is there anyone who is ready to give us a safety moment from the audience? Yes? Anyone to give us a safety moment? A brief one. Yes, Ignatius, please. Miss Elizabeth, if you could unmute him to speak. We have Ignatius, who is ready to give us a safety moment. Kindly unmute and speak. Unmute, Ignatius. Mr. Ignatius, you can now unmute. You're able to unmute. Unmute and speak. Your hand is up. Okay, I'll give the safety moment. Staying healthy is a very good aspect. And okay, Noor, would you love to give a safety moment? I see your hands up. Okay, Miss Elizabeth, kindly unmute Noor. Yeah, kindly unmute Noor. You can speak now, you're able.
Okay, hello guys, I hope I'm audible.
Okay, hello, thank you. We can hear
Right.
you.
Okay, just a quick and a brief safety minute as regards something which we actually used on a day-to-day basis in our homes. What I would like to share would be just that after somebody has finished cooking using a cooker that is fueled by a gas cylinder, it's important to turn off the regulator on the gas cylinder, because ideally this simple step can prevent, say, gas leaks and potential hazards in your home. And this is quite important and a top priority in the kitchen and throughout your home. That's what I had to share. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for being brief and precise. The keep aspect is about us who are cooking, and we need to learn about it and be very careful and keen while using gas cookers. Thank you so much. So at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me take you through the brief profile of our distinguished guest, who is going to be leading the training of today. I can't actually wait. I'm already excited. Yeah, he's already on board. He's very punctual. I appreciate that from him. So this is a brief introduction. As I'm going through his brief introduction, I believe we have emojis, and I already see we are guests from different areas. Kindly go to that, react with your different emoji in the chat box. I'd love to see whether you're clapping, any emoji that you'd use to welcome our distinguished guest. Yeah, our distinguished guest of today has over 12 years experience in the various industries. He's passionate and proficient in quality, health, safety, environment, and sustainability. He has held a strong background in aviation safety, yeah, and where he has worked as a safety director for airlines and airports. He not only has that, but he holds multiple credentials and competences in health, safety, quality, and sustainability. He's also an ISO lead auditor. Not only that, but he's a certified tutor of OSHA and NEBOS IGC. He has held and implemented sustainable various trainings. He has performed several hazard identification, risk assessment, incident investigation. So he's basically the right person to conduct this training today. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, why not welcome this distinguished guest of today? Please, let's clap as we are welcoming Mr. Walid Abraham. Thank you so much. The floor is yours. Yes, thank you. Thank you for clapping. I love that.
Thank you very much, Iron. That was really too much out of you. I'm really grateful for that. And ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, wherever you are. Maybe right now, as Iron said, you may at the night zone or maybe on the morning zone. So wherever you are, pleasant day to all of you. And I'm really happy to present for you today the topic about the QHSE and sustainability, which is really an interesting topic for most of us, and because we are the amateurs and the professionals in that field, so we do definitely interested in order just to deliver as much as we can in that sector. So let us start. Firstly, I'm not sure if can you confirm if you guys see the screen very well?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
All right. So we're going to introduce our company, which is which has been founded about 2 years or 2 years back, and now we're based in Kampala. So our company called Schnell, and we do actually work in so many different sectors. So we're having like the things that we need actually just to drive our energy in the market. And in order just to drive that, actually, we have our own vision and the mission that we need to deliver for our candidates. So we're aiming actually to be a leading and reliable, trusted training and consultancy provider. And our mission is to build a national capacity in order to promote the QHSE principles in community and professional setting. And that was actually the mission that we are coming for here. So depending on the mission, we were going actually to develop in so many tools and so many ways for our candidates in Uganda or the nationals here in order to support them to get up to the level required and to serve the companies which they are looking for the compliance field, which is the QHSE and the sustainability. We're having like a couple of services that we do provide. We provide the aviation quality and safety management system, trainings and the consultancy. We also provide a food safety with respect to the ISO 22000 and the HACCP as well. And the occupational health and safety trainings and consultancy, definitely. With respect to the NEBUSH IG, we are providing the NEBUSH IG, the IOSH, OSHA, and the other consultancy services as well in order just to develop the management system. Not only this, but what we are doing is that we are actually diagnosing the weaknesses in the management system. And we call it the existing management system that operates inside of the companies. So we're having the ability to diagnose where are the weaknesses inside of the system, and in order just to rectify that weakness in a good way and to be in a sustainable and continual way. We also work in sustainability and ESG training and consultancy. And this is one of the promising sector, by the way, that would help most of us in order just to pursue a very good career, not only now, but in the future as well. Moving to the information security management system, training and consultancy, we do have also our expert who works in the 27001 and 27701 and the 20000. These are the ISO standards that we use actually to work with respect to the information security management system. And we do also provide the service of ISO certification audits, not the consultancy part definitely, but we do have actually at the company in order to avoid the conflict of interest between the consultancy service and the certification part. So these are the things that that we are providing, such as the NEBOSH IG, as we said, the international diploma for the NEBOSH. We're doing a preparation workshops. We're doing HACCP trainings. We're doing also internal and lead auditor trainings for the ISO 9001, 45001, 14001. Adding on, we can also provide trainings on the 27001 for the information security management system. We do also provide like NEBOSH process safety management for the oil and gas sector. I think for the most of the process industries, they are looking for the NEBOSH process safety management. And this is one of the most important certificate for the process safety professionals.
Okay.
We also provide
Excuse
sustainability.
me, Mr. Walid.
Yes,
Excuse
please.
me. Would request the audience request you maybe if you would share the presentation in presentation mode. If you would share the slides in presentation mode. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
I don't know why it's not working. Just a second. So as we said, we're moving to the consultancy support also. We do have actually for the ISO 9001, 2015, 45001, 14001, 20001, sorry, 20,000. Management system establishment. And we do also actually provide a support for our clients for the HACCP planning and implementation. For the sustainability and ESG management implementation. And we do have something which is called IOSA and the ISECO management system establishment also. IOSA and ISECO may be for, I'm not quite sure if we're having some aviation professionals who are attending here, but for the IOSA and the ISECO is an aviation safety related certificates. Which stands for, the first one is for the airlines, particularly, and stands for IATA Operational Safety Audit. And the second one is ISECO, which is IATA Safety Audit for Ground Operations. So we're providing also a consultancy service in that terms. We provide the required support for the airlines and the ground handling companies who works in the aviation sector. Having treating issues for the running management system, as I have mentioned before, we're treating on the weaknesses inside of the management systems that usually run on the company. That's actually the thing that we are looking for. We have provided around 15 consultancy services since our establishment, and 20 ISO lead auditor classes and the 15 NEBOSH IG courses delivered during our establishment. We actually always rely on our reliability. We're building system on the reliant ways in order to deliver the intended outcome. And our intended outcomes actually will be decided by the organization in order not to go in a conflict with what is written as an ISO standard inside. We're providing also cost-effective and reliable training, and that indeed based on the geographical location that we are located in. And that depends on so many factors that we take strongly in mind, like the GDP, the level of livings, and so many things. We're trying actually to find some sort of solutions in order to deliver that reliably for our candidates, like in Uganda, for example. Maintaining conformances with an ongoing continual improvement practices and proactive reporting conformance will likely be high also, and that's about the maintaining conformance. And we do also make a system diagnosis. We're assisting actually so many companies in order just to make a diagnosis into system weaknesses and provide an optimal solutions for them. Because the system, once they have been established, they need to run in a good way. And no system is 100% perfect, but we would actually extract as much as we can the value of the system that we are implementing, because our companies has invested in that system. Our staff actually, they're transparent in delivering our services, whichever the service is, if they are training, if they are consultancy, or whatsoever the service is. This is the communication that we actually create with the customers every now and then, or in the usual term, whenever they come to us, we are transparent with them. We are goal-oriented, and goal will be dependent on the problem that the customer will bring on the table. So whenever there is a problem, that will be actually quite big something. So we need actually to set a goal for that problem in order to be solved. And our team is really devoted for the goal that will be actually set to each customer. And professionalism, that's one of our values as well. That's actually our corporate journey. We've started in 2021. We've been just providing an OS training, and then we've continued training, adding on the consultancy work for the QHSE. And we've made actually partners worldwide also, like RRC, Priton, Quality Word. We have like so many training partners that we have dealt with in 2022. In 2023, we have expanded and integrated also the sustainability in our training portfolio and consultancy portfolio as well. Currently, I'm happy actually and I'm really delighted to say that we have actually made an agreement with one of the biggest university in Europe, or we can call it an aeronautical school, which is an aviation school called an IT area. It is aeronautical business school. It's specialized in so many courses related to the aviation. One of them could be the sustainability, safety, and they also offer a master in business administration. So I will pass to you all the link of our page, so you can just have a look towards the program that IT area will offer for the aviation professionals. This is a snapshot of what we have done worldwide locations or geographical locations, and our team actually who are participating and serving our customers everywhere. So that's very short. I hope it is a very short introduction, and we'll be more than happy to receive any inquiries from you guys, or we'll pass the contact to you guys. And this is our webinar, or we can say how we can start from the QHSE sustainability profession. So most of you can be at the early stages, maybe in each of these disciplines. I mean, maybe you are in equality, or maybe you're in HSE, maybe you're in sustainability, or maybe you are in the environment alone. So you have decided just to start doing your things, either in your specific discipline, or you need to extend your wings to hold all of them from the onset to distinction. And I hope that will actually give you the good point about that. We all know that the QHSE always stands for Quality, Health and Safety Environment, and that's actually considered to be the major compliance body in their companies. Some of the companies actually, they're outsourcing that service. But unfortunately, I can actually say from my personal opinion, they should be a part of the company, not to be actually outsourced from the outside, or bringing some expert actually just to serve every now and then and move away for a time and then coming back once again. That would never work actually for the companies, because each and every pillar of the QHSE and sustainability, if you can just see them, you need to develop a particular culture inside of the organization. So for the individuals who are being requested by the companies, they are just coming and serving that company for a particular purpose and then moving away and then coming once again, that will never serve the point of the implementation or the eradication of the culture. So QHSE is a very broad field where you can start to build your knowledge and expertise gradually in each field. So you can just gradually do that. Nothing will happen overnight, guys. The thing is that you need to work on yourself every day. But the good thing is that you need to work on yourself in a bite. You don't have actually to work on yourself like moving an extra miles. No, just make that in a bite, step by step, step by step. But your steps should be devoted, should be dedicated, should be regular. You don't have time to rest unless in the weekend. And sometimes weekend also should be on the schedule that you need to work in, because you are developing yourself, you are building yourself. And that's the point behind of making your knowledge and expertise. So each one of them contribute towards a specific purpose in order to support the company to legally meet the regulatory requirements. And this is the need behind the companies. Now, most of the companies or most of the countries, they are imposing any legal requirements on the companies. Like, for example, we're having someone here from Dubai, and they know very well that the regulatory requirements about the QHSE and the sustainability, they are really hard, and ESG, they are also considered to be required by the company in order just to develop their system inside and in order to practice and do the continual improvement inside. So doing all of this stuff, you need a cadre, you need the professionals to join you. You need people who are really eligible. You need people who are really experienced, knowledgeable in order to deliver these stuff. And then you need and expect from them to deliver the results out of it. Not only the point behind it is not only that the companies will benefit out of it. Oh, sorry, they will meet only the regulatory requirements, but the companies also will benefit out of these systems inside the company, because it will contribute to very huge benefits, such as the cost saving, educating your personals, increasing productivity, lots of things like QHSE and sustainability will going to contribute to. Several companies, they used to integrate the four disciplines for the sake of cost saving and productivity. You may find actually a QHSE and sustainability professional as a one person. Most of the company actually, they are just trying to do that in order just to save the cost and productivity. Others, they may have like a separate quality department, HSE and sustainability. Others, they have environment and sustainability department, health and safety and quality. So it depends on how complex the organization is and its requirements as well. So from where to start? It's really confused on from where to start in order just to go and to look around. If you are an individual that you need to shift from a field to another field, or you need to go into that field, or you need to choose quality out of the HSE and sustainability, or you need to choose all of them. So it depends on what would you like to choose and what would you like to pursue and to move on during your career in life. So moving out from university or making a career shift would put the individual in a constrained location towards starting their new compliance career. And that's actually the problem, guys. Now, what you have been taught in the university, like for example, you may have been taught as a petroleum engineer, and you've attended the petroleum engineering classes and you have graduated after 5 years, and then you went out, you'll find everything different from what you have studied. And that's true. Because sometimes you may have studied actually a degree, and that degree actually fits for another career location, not in a specific career location where you have looked at. Like, for example, for the people who are actually graduated, let me just speak about the aeronautical, because, you know, as long as it's my specialty. So people who are graduating from aeronautical engineering as a bachelor's degree, let us say a degree, they're not eligible to work under the aircraft to fix a wheel or a tire or a valve or something like that. They have studied actually, and they have the knowledge and skills and the capability in order to work in a design facility, for example, or if they will be working on the airlines, they should be working on the planning department, for example. So they are actually managerial related professions. They're not actually learning that in order just to fix things from, the aircrafts and work as a mechanic. And that's the point. So the thing is that we need to choose, like, you will get confused whenever you go out, and you will find that everything in the organization doesn't fit what I have learned. Or maybe like a 30 or 50% of what you have learned is on the organization, for example. But in general terms, you will never find they are really compatible as you have thought about. So companies which treat their talents as a valuable asset can significantly contribute to the individual personal growth and their guidance. So now see, it's not only you that you will be moving on your track as an individual and choosing your track and to be supported in that track and to get from your time and your cash and from your money in order just to put on and invest in your knowledge and expertise. Companies are also considered to be one of the factors, by the way. Whoever choose a good company which cares about the talent, and I mean here by the talents, they are the staff who are working in that company. These are considered to be the people who are really actually pursuing a good in their career. So the company took really a very high percentage in the support of your career. And that's really a reality. And I have seen actually so many companies worldwide that actually cares about their staff because, part of their growth will be a part of the capability growth of their staff. And that's simply, it's a very simple equation that you can just put. Because as soon as you have just developed your staff, then you will grow as a company. And that actually will contribute to the personal growth of the staff inside of that company. And that's the matter behind that the companies are really working towards their staff. So maybe most of you know very well about the SWOT analysis, and I think it's a tool which normally used in order to detect where we are failing and where we're succeeding and where we are really strong and where we are really weak. And that's actually the thing. So, neglecting the opportunities and threats, but we can just put our strength or weaknesses. And, the most important thing, guys, is about your self-awareness evaluation. Now, what do we mean by self-awareness? When we say the self-awareness, it's in the big term that you know very well your thoughts and emotions in order just to deal with the others. But when we take it professionally in the context of the qualification development, our personal growth, we can say you know where you are failing and you know very well where you are succeeding. That's the self-awareness, because sometimes you may find some of the people, they're really thinking by themselves that they're really good at doing that thing. But when it comes to the reality, they're not doing that thing in a good way. But sometimes they actually lie to themselves that, yes, we are really confident in doing 1 and 2 and 3. And that's not the case. You need to be very honest with yourself to determine exactly where you are. You need to develop yourself. And that's actually most of the problem that the individual face. Because sometimes you may work in, for example, in a company like Coca-Cola or a very big company. And then you would take actually the Coca-Cola is a very big company, and then you will take actually the ego of the status of working in that big company, and that actually will make you in a place different from the place where you exactly should be there or you're supposed to be there. So that's the point. You need to study yourself very well, your knowledge particularly, your skills particularly, everything, each and every minor things that you need to study it very well. And don't forget, it's not all about bringing lots of certificates inside of your pocket. No, it's all about the skills, and that's what the companies looks for, by the way. If you got NIBUSH IG, if you got IISH, if you got every single certification, if you don't have a skill, you will not be actually growing very well. Skill is the most hardest thing, by the way. So that's why you need to invest in your skills really well. And that doesn't mean that the knowledge and the certification is not necessary. No, they are, but the skills are also there. And why I have emphasized on the skills, because the skills are always neglected by the people. You know, the QHSE and sustainability professionals should have a very unique, we will come to that in particular, but they should have a very unique skills that need to be developed. Okay, so that's the part about the self-awareness, evaluation skills that you need to develop in that profession. So many tools are available around you, and that can determine from where to start. So that's only a sample of the tool, but you can just look around and you can find so many tools. At the end, what is the conclusion out of it? You need to determine your weaknesses and strengths, and that's what you need to come up with. Honestly, that's my strength and that's my weaknesses. Don't lie to yourself. If that will be your weakness, you need to write it. That's your weakness. If that your strengths, that's my strength. All right? And that's the point that you need to rely on. So don't be upset if you find yourself extra miles away as you would thought you would recognize, you would require those qualifications. Yes, that's the point, guys. It's not about worrying and getting upset. You should always be optimistic about what you would be doing. Because whenever you have been honest with yourself that that's your weaknesses and that's your strength, then you will imagine, how long will I take to get my weaknesses to be a strength? Like how long or what period of time will I take? So each and every day that you're just moving and working on your weaknesses, then look back at your back, and then you will see how long you have passed or how miles that you have passed behind you. And that's the point. You will fuel your energy again, and then you will move, then look back and take on the form. And that's how you energize yourself. This is how you can increase your dopamine in your minds. All right. So don't be upset. And that's the point, guys. This is a very small and minor techniques that you can use in order to move very well in your way and towards your goal. And that's the point behind of it. So keep in mind to use the simplest such like SWOT analysis, as I have said. And the self-awareness, as we have mentioned before, is the ability to look inward, inside. Look inside. What do you have inside? No one around you will gonna look inside other than you. And that's you. You look inside. You examine yourself. That's the point from where you can start. You know, the good thing about making the self-awareness is all about, I said to you before, being honest is the most important part. I have met actually a person before, this is a very short story. I can just share it with you. In one of the interview, and he was just telling me that I'm having a NEBOSH IG, I'm having an IH, I'm having a NEBOSH International Diploma, I'm doing a Master in Occupational Health and Safety from, I don't know, like Stanford University. Okay, we're fine. It was really brilliant to hear all of this. But I have asked him about the skills that they have. Like, for example, analytical thinking. Do you have anything about the analytical thinking? And I have actually deployed a scenario on the table in order just to see how he can act and respond toward that. And he was just looking around like as if he's not sure he was going to make that scenario solved or not. And I told him that you know, one of the things is not always about exposing to the employer your certificates. You know, exposing to the employer your certificates will show that you have the knowledge. But how have you translated that knowledge from your mind and your hand? That's the point. And here comes the role of the skill. How have you take that data from your mind to your hands? That's what we call it the skills. And this is what we need to see, because whenever you get into the factory, you will never actually repeat what you have studied in the NEBOSH IG. You will never say that how you can convince the management about implementing the health and safety, and then you were going to say for a moral reason, economic reason, and a legal reason. No, that will never benefit you and will never benefit the company in order just to spell that out. But you need to implement it. So how can you implement it? That's the skills that we're talking about. All right. So ways to get into the QHSE and sustainability, so many ways. to get the knowledge, to get the qualification, to get the certificates, university degree, training providers, apprenticeship, or you can get into the companies as a trainee. And this is what I actually prefer. Get as a trainee. You can learn, you can see by your eyes. You can see by your eyes, you can touch by your hands, you can think by your mind. All of your senses will going to work whenever you are exposed to the situation in front of you. Then the knowledge will be built up. That's actually a point that I have seen it before. Now, I used actually to work with one of the training providers before I have established this company. And whenever actually I go to the class to deliver the NIBISH IG for the candidates, some of the candidates that I feel from them that they're not getting what I'm talking about. And then I would stop, and then I will actually give them the idea by details. When I went back to the curriculum, I found that they haven't worked as a health and safety practitioner or the professional before. That's what made for them the task really difficult in order to get what is inside the NIBISH IG. But others, they are really good. They perceive each and every information very quickly. But when I get to their curriculum, I found that actually they have worked for maybe 2 years or 3 years, but exposed. Listen, guys, exposure. 2 years and 3 years, it's a time, okay? But what have you done in 3 and 2 years? Exposure. That's the most important thing in your company. As soon as you have get into the company as a safety and health or QHSE and sustainability professional, let us say by that word, and then you went inside to that company, you need to be exposed to each and every situation. Don't fear. I know very well. And it's a very normal feelings that you can get into the company and then you will start fearing of being exposed to the situations, like, for example, situations of talking to the manager or supervisor who resists to implement the policies or the protocols or the procedures, and then you will start fearing. No, get yourself there. You will learn. You will learn, and that's the point, okay? So joining as a trainee, training providers, they can give you the knowledge, no matter how. We will give you the knowledge. We will give you everything, all right? Then you convey that knowledge to the reality, and then you can go and do it. So how can we sort them? From our recent experience, let us say, and the humble experience that we're having, and limited experience that we have, we are always recommending that you sort out the fields into the 3 categories. Quality, you work on it. Health and safety, they're alone. Environment, sustainability, they're supposed to be together. Okay? So whenever you just need to go towards learning in that specific fields, you should concentrate on the quality as an individual sector, health and safety as an individual sector, and environment and sustainability as an individual sector. Okay, so why we have put the environment and sustainability and health and safety together and quality alone, we will come to that to see what was the reason. We're going to speak about the quality profession in quite a bit, as long as actually, I think most of you actually are interested in the occupational health and safety more than the sustainability also, but we will talk also about the sustainability and how it looks like and everything. But with respect to the quality profession, you need always actually just to simply, because whenever you have seen that diagram, it will be like a very complicated to see that diagram, which will be published by a very big institutions worldwide, like CQI or IRICA. But in front of you is the CQI capability framework that has been established by the CQI. And there's not quite different actually between the CQI capability framework and the CBD, which actually being required by the most of certification bodies, which stands for the Continual Professional Development, CPD, okay? You may have actually a very different and wide range of the quality professions. You have a quality officer, quality engineer, quality manager, quality director, assurance manager. They are, lots of things. And here, guys, I need just to differentiate between two things. Quality is a sector, and something which we call an improvement is another sector. Improvement is a very wide sector that requires from the individual to go into it. But I do strongly recommend that anyone who didn't pass through the quality qualification should not go further than the improvement profession for one reason only. Because whenever you're talking about the quality, you're talking about the establishment of the system, you're talking about the protocols, the procedures inside of the company, and so many things that you need to do it at the first place in order to establish the quality, for example, the management system, for example, or the quality assurance department, or quality control, or whatsoever. That requires from you an early stages of knowledge. So whenever you have practiced that early stages of knowledge, like about the principles of the quality, how you put your hands on the quality, how you make audit, how you collect data, how you analyze them, how you make a decision making, all of these, then you acquired the basic knowledge about the quality, you can move to the improvement part. Okay? An improvement part always came later. Okay? Why? Because you have established your stuff here. So your system is just being running and you're looking for the improvement. Then the improvement will come later. So improvement by its nature is a very complicated because you need a very detailed and intensive studies that you need to do. For example, one of the improvement qualification that most of the individuals worldwide acquire it's Lean Six Sigma, for example. All right. So Lean Six Sigma starts with the green, with the yellow, and then black and master black. And that's actually the point where you can actually work on the improvements project. And this is a very complicated tool that you can use. If you're not well qualified in quality, you can't go to the improvement right away. All right. So always start with the quality and move to the improvement. And improvement also considered to be a part of the quality, but they are separated in terms of the stages in which the system passed through. So CPD is an important tool. It reflects the same of the tool which is on the right hand side, and start by analyzing and plan for the following. But I would suggest actually for you guys, as you're starting, you need to make a CPD. So CPD is simply actually is an action plan. So whenever you have started actually just to diagnose where are your weaknesses and where are your strengths, then just extract your weaknesses out of the map, lay them down, okay, on how you are going to achieve them. And you know very well how the action plan works. Like you need to put the topic in which you will be working in, then you know the time frame. Then if you need to break it down to simple steps, break it down to the simple steps, and then put the status on the last field. Then you will start actually just looking at that every and each morning that you wake up from your bed, look at your plan. Remind yourself always that you need to achieve something by the end of the day, okay? We will be part of that, by the way, as a Schnell. Sometimes I know very well, like a 70% or maybe the big majority of the problem could be with the financial things, and I know that very well. We will work actually with that discipline, and we're having actually a very good news. Maybe it will come by the near future, soon enough. We're expecting actually just to provide like a couple of courses, specific courses, in a good and flexible financial terms, and we will going to disclose that actually in our page soon enough. So just keep tuned into that, and then because that's our mission, as I have repeated, because we've been stick to a mission that we need actually to work towards it, and we have a vision that we need to work towards it. So that's our striving in that area. So anyway, that's actually for the quality. you know, for the health and safety, and the quality, as I told you, you can just start with the quality engineer, quality practitioner, quality officer, whatsoever. But the thing is that in each and every company, that you need to start with a trainee, and that what actually I prefer, because you need to start from the ground or from the scratch, and always go and ask. Don't impose. Ask. Okay. There will be a time actually to come and impose, and the people will take your decision and will take your opinion and everything, and that will come by the time. But now start by asking. So whenever you ask here and there, here and there, here and there, then you will navigate your way out of the uh, out of the or towards your goal in the quality profession. Okay. With respect to the health and safety, I have focused actually very well, because I believe that most of you are interested in doing the occupational health and safety. As you have seen, we're approximately looking for 110,000 safety professionals, strong employment opportunities across all safety-related roles projected to increase through to 2024. So that means there is a very intensive need for the health and safety. And a good news is that the health and safety is a part of the sustainability, by the way. Okay. Now the word is moving towards the sustainability and towards the sustainable business, sustainable finance, sustainable everything. It's sustainable. So a part of the sustainability framework they are looking for, there is a very major component called health and safety. So it's required under the sustainability framework, and that what actually push all of us to go towards that, and that actually will going to open so many opportunities by the companies worldwide. All right. So the organization are increasingly focusing on the reputation management, and this is what we have actually heard mostly around the health and safety topics, because you know, if you have like a very high death tool inside of the company or something, then you were going to lose your reputation or something, and that will going to harm the company in terms of their operational integrity. So I'm keeping the workforce safe as a component of being perceived as a good corporate citizen. The second thing is more than half of safety professions are quickly approaching retirement age, making room for new professionals to enter the field and seasoned professionals to advance. And this is life. You will find someone who is really there, and then he will get to the 60s, and then he will come to get the journey or start the journey afterward. And it's this is the second reason, but the third, as I told you guys, the sustainability is just coming and pushing so hard in the world, and each and every country on the national level and on the regulatory level, they will be implementing, or we can say that most of the countries, they have already started to implement the sustainability framework. Okay. And that's the point. So health and safety career, it varies between the vocation and the managerial. All right. So Americans always call it like an OSH practitioner and OSH professionals. All right. What we call it here normally is a manager and vocational. Vocational are the people who are really working practically, expressing their skills in the practical terms. Like, for example, going there in order just to check on the fire extinguishers, making first aid filling, doing emergency drills, whatsoever. And that's considered to be the vocational ones. Now, if you would like actually just to step up for the managerial, that needs to be a part of the strategic, putting the strategic direction with respect to the health and safety, for example, putting the high level goals and deploying that goals in order to be translated in terms of objectives for whole departments, putting the vision for the health and safety for the whole company. And all of these actually are meant to be with managerial, the OHS management system. We're having like two common schools in the health and safety. We're having like American and British, all right, and we know that very well. You can find people actually, they're really concentrating on NABOSH, IOSH, something which is really British related things. While for the Americans, people are not really shedding the light and attention towards that, but they're really good, by the way. and they're giving you a very good knowledge and information. All right. So for the American, for example, you have like a prescriptive, because the nature of the Americans, they're always prescriptive in doing their things. Like for example, if we would say we need to talk about escape routes, for example, for the emergency purposes, you may find that actually in the NEBOSH, they would say you should design the escape route to accommodate as much people as you can in order to evacuate safely the building. That's the example. And that's what we call it goal setting. They are aiming for the goal of making all the people out and safe. But how? It will be kept on the employer. All right? Moving to the Americans, no, Americans will never put everything on the employer, but they will go and actually put that in the legislation. They would say, if you would actually design for an escape route, you need to design the escape route with the width of 74-inch, for example, and the height of 90-inch, for example. All right, and the distance between the location where they will be evacuating up to the total place of safety should be X distance, for example. So they will particularly specify each and everything inside of the requirements or the regulation that they're making, but not, unlike the British. All right, so they are very different schools that they are teaching things by different ways. All right, so you can see like we're having like NEBOSH International Diploma. They are not considered to be that bad, or American they're good, or vice versa. No, every one of them they're good, but the thing is that they're having a differences. That's the point. All right, because now you can see that people always, or the employees always tends to get NEBOSH. They're asking the candidates about the NEBOSH. They're asking the candidates about the IESH and everything like that. But others also, or other employer that you may have never encountered them before, they're asking about OSHA. They're asking about the PCSB. They're asking about these certificates, and they're really keen in order just to get that certificates on board. Okay, so that's the health and safety CPD on how to develop your continual professional development. You need to check on the standard that actually the employer or the standard or the union, from where you can get that standard. And this is the locations that you were going to get the standard. Like, for example, you would like to be employed in Coca-Cola, okay? And you're looking actually to be employed in Coca-Cola, you would go actually to visit how Coca-Cola looks like, or what they are requiring from the individuals to be how they require the individuals to be, and what sort of qualifications and skills they're looking for. So here you can just get the qualifications list, the knowledge, skills, you will find it definitely, and the level of expertise, and then you will start actually just sorting them out. Always remember, you need to sort out the knowledge on a side and skills on the side. Don't put them together in order not to be confused, because each one of them, they are really distinguished. So list down the knowledge, develop your action plan where you are lacking in terms of knowledge. You have sorted your knowledge, like you put your strength in a side and the weaknesses in terms of knowledge on the other side. So you have just said that, then you need to work step by step on that weaknesses in order just to be turned as a strength. And be careful that you need to keep on your strength, not to be by the time to be turned on to be a weaknesses. So you have two tasks. You need to turn your weaknesses to a strength, and you need to keep on your strength, and you need to implement the CPD, like the actions that you need to make. Like, for example, one of the actions that I need to make is that I need to attend the QHSE and Sustainability Professions webinar. That's one of the actions. And then whenever you have attended that webinar, you came up with the result. What have you learned from the webinar? And that's the point. Okay, so you get the result out of it. you practice it, and then you need to check and review. So whenever you have checked and reviewed, you're really well, you have come up with the required knowledge and skills, and that's the point that that you are supposed to be aimed for. If there is something that's really wrong, in order just to check, because you need to check versus the required skill and knowledge. This is where you need to actually check your stuff. All right, because sometimes actually people are saying that this is the benchmark. Okay. For the skills, the same. You need to develop an action plan, you need to practice the action plan, and then you need to check and review. And this is how you can actually start your things. This is a global framework for the practice. Has also been extracted from the Safety Engineers Association, or the American Safety Engineers Association, and how you can get your stuff out of it. Like, for example, you need to get regarding to the knowledge and skills, the abilities, rules and function, guidelines for certification programs, accreditation guidelines for education programs. You need to get it as a feedback from the practitioners, employees, associations, government, research, everything. These are considered to be the source where you can just get your information out of it. All right. So you can get the information regarding to knowledge, skills, abilities. You need to get an information about the accreditation guidelines. You need to get an information regarding to the roles and functions. You need to get the information about the guidelines, certification programs, everything that you need to get out of it. These are considered to be the sources where you can get the information out of it, but not limited to. All right. And then you can get your educational qualification, certification, and the most important thing, by the way, the code of conduct as an input to the certification that you would like to be certified with. And then you will become a capable OHS professional recognized by the organization, regulator, industry, and community. And that's how simple is it, all right? You know, the thing is, it's not all about like to stick to like a single practice or a single framework, other than just moving around and do the thing with the tool that you would like to do with. Don't use a very complex tool. Use the tool which is really compatible to your needs, to your understanding, and to the easiness as well. And that's when, because at the end result is you need to deliver the result. You need to reach your goal. So these are all considered to be a tool. So use the easiest one in order just to take you to that level. This is the difference between the OSH practitioner that we have spoken about earlier and the OSH professional. All right, and you can see actually there is different names for them, like advisor, officer, coordinator for the practitioner, and for professional you can find like so many names, but always reflects the managerial titles, like graduate, OHS advisor, OHS manager, director, whatsoever. So you can see the difference between them in terms of the roles that they're taking inside of the company. So they are always an implementer for the practitioner, an executor of the strategy and the framework for the OSH critical control management. But while for the professional, they are designer of the OHS management strategy. So now you understood how it's different here, right? So they are always designing the strategy, but the practitioner is implementing that strategy. So the practitioner communicates predominantly with the middle management, supervisor, and shop floor, while the professional always influences the senior managers, building relationship as a basis for influence, mentoring, providing integrated technical and strategic advice, oversees and drives monitoring and compliance for the practitioner, and then for the professional develops monitoring systems. And this is how it works. At the end, you can find that actually in the, like, for example, the American Society for Safety Engineers. So you can find all of these materials and how you can just do your stuff and everything. And this is the most important thing, that whenever you need to decide where you need to go to, you need to understand very well what is the rank that you need to pass through. All right. So I'm just assuming that you have started from scratch in each and every field, and how you can just collect what is required out of who and from which sources that you need actually just to get that required. And then you need to develop the CPD, and then you need to deploy your action plan, implement it, review, and check. And that's simply how your staff need to go through. So here's a range of skills and knowledge. Now, whenever we need to speak about the skills, you have so many skills, as I told you guys. Leadership, negotiation, communication, resolving conflicts, ability to think ahead. This is a brand new skill that you need actually just put as one of the most important skill required by the professionals. All right. Well, for the knowledge I have said to you.
Mr. Wali.
Yes, please.
Excuse me. Sorry for the interruption. I would like the personnel to prepare around 1 or 2 questions as we are coming to summarize up our training. Luis, if you could summarize it up. Okay, thank you. In around 3 minutes.
Okay, fine. All right, thank you. So that's the skills that we're looking for. So what you need to do is, as you can see, the skills is negotiation, communication. If you have never communicated before, you will never learn how to communicate, right? Or you'll never be able to be a good communicator, let us say by that word. So you need to practice the communication in order to develop that skill. So that's actually the point, that the people or the employer will see how you reflect it in action. That's the point. Okay, code of conduct, it has been extracted from Aish. It's very important, guys, to concentrate on the code of conduct, like integrity, transparency, honesty, respect, and competence. And these actually the foundation of everything, even before the skills that you need to develop. You need to be with the good transparency, you need to be transparent, you need to be honest, you need to be with the integrity, you need to have respect with your colleagues, you need to have the competence. Because you're dealing with humans, you're dealing with the money. You need to get the moral side out of it. You know, with respect to the health and safety, you're caring about the human. You're caring about lives. So if you're not transparent and honest, then what is the value behind the health and safety? So that should be the foundation. And then you need to build your skills and then your knowledge and then your experience. And then you will be a professional with respect to that, okay? Now we're going to speak about the environment sustainability due to the shortage of time. It's a very big topic, by the way, and I was actually planning just to talk about it, but maybe in the next webinars, if we had the opportunity to do that. But for the environment sustainability, most notably, I just need to mention a very important thing that ISO and the IAAF, which is the International Accreditation Forum, they have actually published a report introducing a change on all the ISO management systems. That's actually by the 23rd of February, 2024, introducing a climate change requirements. And this is actually the importance that has been actually reflected in each and every management system standard, or the ISO standards, okay? So the addition of that will be in the 2 clauses, 4.1 and 4.2 is, you know, that's the context of organization. So 4.1 is with respect to the understanding the context of organization. And the 4.2 is understanding the interested parties and the expectation and their needs and expectations, sorry. So they have introduced the 2 clauses, they have amended in that 2 clauses in order to accommodate the effect of the climate change, how the organization should consider that in their analysis of the context of the organization. This is where it comes actually the necessity for the sustainability as a profession, by the way. Now, if it has been introduced as a requirements, then that gives us the indication that this profession is really worthwhile, and we need to concentrate on. Why we have put the environment and sustainability together? Because obviously, as you have said, environment is a part of the sustainability. So whenever you need to upgrade yourself in the sustainability, you need to develop your capability, knowledge and skills in the environment as a part of the whole circle. As you can see, the pillars of the sustainability reflects the economic, social, and environment. So you need to develop also your staff or your knowledge and skills in the environment in order to be a capable and experienced professional in sustainability. So every and each sustainability professional, they are having a good and excellent knowledge about the environment, okay? So sustainability, meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. And this is what we are actually looking to work for the future generations, but doing our activities without compromising their future. All right. According to the studies, there is a growing demand for sustainability professionals required by the organization. And what we need to do here in sustainability, you need to be a system thinking professionals. It's not all about studying sustainability, going for sustainability. I have studied environment, I have studied NIBUSH environment. No. The most required feature in the professional, sustainability professional, is a system thinking professional. You need to connect everything to get out with the result on how each and every single matter inside of the Earth system works and how they impact each other, in order just to get like the result of the increased temperature on the Earth, for example. Okay, so you need just to study that as a system thinking, because God created the Earth in a system. So you need to think with the system based. All right, so that's actually the feature that you need actually to acquire as a professional. That's from my end. I don't want to actually, just because I think we have been allowed for 3 minutes or something. That's our contacts. Please do not hesitate. We're really actually keen to support new entrants, shifting individuals and growing professionals in that sectors, and we're really interested to do that. So please do not hesitate just to contact us and send us an emails and contact us through the phone. And you can find also our page on the LinkedIn in order just to be hooked up there. All right. Thanks very much, guys. And I'm very welcome to the question in order just to be of a mutual learning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Warid. It has been a really insightful training, and you can already see the team is already clapping, and we're excited about it. Thank you so much. We appreciate, and we hope to contact you any soon. From the audience, I hope we shall take about one question. If there is anyone who is ready, you can please raise your hand. Okay, maybe you can type it in the chat box. In the meantime, let me call upon our secretary, Miss Elizabeth. The floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming for this webinar that was really tailored towards enabling HSE professionals to know which career path they can take and what things they should look out for to grow their profession. This was organized by the Safety and Health Association of Uganda, which is basically an association that brings together people practicing HSE in Uganda. But we are also partnering with the associations in WASPAC in Kenya and TOHASA in Tanzania. So if you're practicing in any of those countries, you should reach out to those associations, join, and be able to harness some of these opportunities, grow your profession and learn. This is just one of the trainings that we shall be conducting for our members to enable them grow in the profession. And we hope that you can reach out to me and let you know about how you can join the association. Right now, our membership for joining is just 100,000, which is valid until the end of today. So we call upon you. Just reach out to me on WhatsApp or in the chat. I'll be able to guide you. Yeah, and just to give to thank our presenter, Walid. The training was really insightful, and I hope everyone on this webinar was able to pick something that they can take on so that they can grow their profession, something they picked that will help them in the future, and also guidance on which courses they can take. Yeah, Thank you, Mr. Walid. Have a good evening. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you so much, our dear secretary. I finally got one question. I hope Mr. Walid just be ready to answer this. Mr. Nur is asking, with the rise of remote work and distributed teams, how can companies ensure consistent implementation of quality health, safety and environment standards and sustainability practices across different locations? Yeah, that's one of the questions we've received. It's in the chat box. If you could answer.
Okay. Okay, thanks very much for that question. It's a very nice question to be asked. And with respect to the remote working, and this is actually what the companies found really beneficial for them in order to make their work really productive. You know, on the other side, I can say that the health and safety and the remote, for example, if you're just meaning by the remote is the office-based, like home-based, for example, that actually will make really the case more safer than being on the office, for example, because if we count on making the office setup for the people actually just to travel in and out to the office and back to the home, we're having like a commuting risk on the way up to the offices, and that should be considered as well, other than what are actually the health and safety risks that would be actually inside of the office, and is it controlled or not. At home, actually, we're having like so many hazards and risks that we need to control. And one of them that could be actually imposed on the employee to the maximum is the ergonomic risk, as you definitely know very well. That actually will be solved by, you know, the frequent communication between the employer and the staff back at home. So you need just to make for them like so many posters, for example, or the normal things that we're doing for the staff in terms of the health and safety, or you can communicate to them and do same as the webinar that we're doing actually in order just to tell them what is the importance of the health and safety that needs to be actually practiced inside of their homes. And it's not all at once that you need the change of the health and safety culture, but you need to keep repeating, you need to keep convincing, you need to keep communicating, you need to keep advising, and all of these actually will gonna work by the end of the day. For the sustainability, we will going actually to touch a very sensitive topic here is about the welfare, and it's also a common topic with the health and safety. Here we're going to touch the social aspect of the sustainability, and in that way actually we have served the requirements of the social benefits with respect to the individuals, because individuals, they have been traveling to the office and back to home, and now they have been with their families, and they're really flexible in doing the things inside of their homes. So in order just to deliver the results in a good way. So that means if the productivity increase, that means the level of the happiness and the level of comfort and mental status has been also within the comfort level and within the good range that we are always desire for as an employer. So that's why people tend to make that in that way, and that actually has been started since the COVID-19. So I think that's simply the thing, because, you know, introducing the remote working, it's a part of serving the social aspect of sustainability, but making sure that the health and safety for the remote working, particularly working from home, is always advisable by making so many awareness sessions with the employees inside of their homes. All right. I hope that made it really clear for you.
Okay, Thank you so much for giving us a wonderful answer towards that. There is one more question here. Could you elaborate on the skills and training individuals might need to pursue senior career opportunities within the HSE profession?
All right, that's also a good question for the senior position. Listen, the senior position is always, as I told you, what it matters always about the profession and the health and safety is always about your skill set. Always concentrate on the skill set, all right? And that's the most important part that you need to concentrate on. Knowledge, yes, it's important. And as I told you, whenever you knock the door on the employer and then you get inside, the employer will going to ask you about the certificate, but they will going to expect that what are you skilled in by your hands? That's the most important thing. How you can do things, all right? And this is what it matters actually in the health and safety, because they're having like so many people there, they're waiting for you in order just to fight with you and to challenge you, right? And this is what it makes actually health and safety profession really difficult for some of the people, all right? So that's the point. Now, for the qualification, I could advise, actually, there are so many qualifications. You can actually differentiate between two things. Between a university degree, you can get into the university degree in the occupational health and safety. There are so many universities that provide actually qualifications from bachelor's degree, a master's degree, PhD, professor, whatsoever. And you have the training providers who are providing a professional courses. And other than like a NIBUSH International Diploma in Occupational Health and Safety, which is the most renowned ones, you're having like several diplomas worldwide. I think there is a diploma which is called, it's a Scottish-based, I think, and it's really approved by the NVQ, which is the, I'm not recalling actually the abbreviations very well, but you can just search online about other safety diplomas, but it has to be actually approved by an accreditation body. And this is the most important thing, okay? You have for the American school, you have like a PCA, the Board of Certified Safety Professional, PCSP. And these actually are providing really a good qualifications, and it can also help you in your senior management positions. But as I told you, you need to make sure that your skills are really well established versus the requirements of the skill set that required for the professionals who are really on the senior positions. So whenever you found yourself really well in that, so you can just pursue in order just to develop yourself in the knowledge qualifications.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, I still see more questions here. Before I lift up the questions, there's someone who is appreciating. Thank you so much for this comprehensive training. Yeah, we really appreciate the knowledge impacted onto us. Yeah, on behalf of SHA, we really appreciate. Mr. Afra Agaba, wish he could raise his question. Miss Elizabeth, please. Okay, thank you. Let's hear from our President, Shao, for the closing remarks. Mr. Edgar, the floor is yours. Miss Elizabeth, please confirm if the president is in here. If not, then the vice president can give our closing remarks.
Irene, I'll just give the closing remarks. Thank you all for
Okay,
coming.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Just a little more. Let Mr. Agaba give his question. Then you come in. Mr. Agaba, the floor is yours.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I would like to thank the organizers and the presenter for the wonderful presentation. Actually, my question is more like more like the same, the last one that has been answered, but maybe I can still elaborate on it. So I wanted to ask for advice. If someone is interested in managing taking on a safety role in a research lab that is busy in handling hazardous chemicals of different kinds, different gases, and on a large scale, would you advise that person to, anyway, what would you advise that person to do in terms of additional training to handle something of that magnitude, more especially if the person has been handling projects on a small scale and perhaps not handling hazardous stuffs of that nature?
Okay, thank you very much, Afra, for the question. And well, yes, the major hazard industries, or we can call it like, the thing that it's a very sensitive industry that actually to be worked in. For example, NIBUSH has introduced a new currently the latest qualification with respect to the NIBUSH process safety management. And before it wasn't over here actually, but because of the trending accident statistics with respect, for example, in the chemical industries or any process industry, that would require actually from the individuals just to be well equipped with the knowledge and skills in order to handle. So for the case of the people who are working on a small scale, I would just really prefer to get into that industry, no matter how, and then to be supervised by the professionals over there. But they need also to develop their knowledge if they're not having a knowledge or a good knowledge about the process safety, if they are joining the health and safety industry. So process safety, NIBUSH has introduced a very well-off qualification with respect to the process safety. And then you can just develop your skills and in that industry or in that sensitive industry by the supervision of the professionals there in that industry. Then whenever you have been actually well off and the company have the dependence on you, then they would release you in order just to take your position in that industry. Simply, it looks really fearful for the people actually just to go in that industry. But whenever you get inside and then you see the system, you see the things, how it works and everything, and then you will feel yourself really comfort, and you will start actually developing your knowledge in a good way. All right. So I think that the only qualification that could be really well at this stage is the process safety management for NIBUSH. You can just attend that course and then you can develop your skills by the time.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Agaba. Hope you picked, your question has fully been answered, and apologies for calling you Mr. previously. Yeah, my apologies accepted. Yes, David, please unmute, and that's the last one. Unmute and speak.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to ask the presenter about the standards, the ISO. You said they might include, or they are going to include the environment change in one of the clause, which is the to 4.2, among the 4.2 from 4.1 to 4.3. So does it mean that they are going to change ISO? Like, is it eligible for revision from, let's say, the 45001 and the 14001? Is it eligible to be changed to 2024, like they changed the one to 2018? Or it can stay like that? And if it stays like that, what of the people who already did the other ISO and then they do not have they do not go through the changes that have been made? Thank you.
Thank you very much, David, for the question. Yes, with respect to the ISO, yes, they have introduced an amendment, and that amendment actually will be introduced in the appendix of the already and the currently working ISOs. Like, for example, the 45,001 and 9,001 and 14 and 22,000 and whatsoever the ISO standard that will be there. The thing is that the provision, there is nothing actually will be changed in the clause. Like, for example, in 4.1 and 4.2, where the climate change action has been introduced, there is no change actually on the 4.1 and 4.2. There is only an addition to consider the climate action that has been actually considered by the organization in their analysis. For example, you have 4.1 is about the understanding of the organization context. You need to understand the internal and the external issues, right? So whenever you're just going into the understanding of the internal and external issue, you need to consider how the climate change, how you're affecting the climate change on your processes with respect to the quality management system or the health and safety management system or whatsoever the management system is, all right? And for the 4.2, accordingly, if you have analyzed and you have broken down the external and internal influences or the issues, then you will decide about the interested parties that you need actually to communicate with and to meet their expectation and needs. So whenever actually you have just developed the internal external issues and there is something that reflects an issue about the climate action, you need to reflect the interested parties that you need to meet their needs and expectation, all right? Because in the context of the organization, you're just analyzing where your organization located in terms of the requirements that will be imposed in terms of the stakeholders that you will be communicating, in terms of the needs and expectations, in terms of so many things that you can actually just develop your system based on that. For the people who actually have implemented the ISO, like for example, the audits on the 45,001, like in January, for example, and they haven't reached February, they're not actually eligible to make a re-audit on their organization once again to consider the climate action. It's everything that will be onward 23rd of February and 2024. So if, let us say, for example, if your company is subject for an audit, and for example, on April 2024, then they will be eligible and subject in order just to reflect on the climate change. It's a very minor clause that has been actually added into the 4.1 and 4.2 without touching on the credibility and the integrity of that clauses. I hope I made it clear, Mr. David.
Yeah, it's so clear. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. That has been awesome. That has been so nice and had a lot of good takeaways. So at this moment, with due respect, I invite Ms. Elizabeth to give us the closing remarks to appreciate our wonderful train of the day. Yes. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Alid, for this training. I believe it has been beneficial to most of the people that have attended, to actually all the people that have attended. And hopefully we could also reach out to him for some of the trainings that he has spelled out that Chanel offers. Just he can always provide an email. He has been able to present some of the courses he provides. Support him, reach out to him and support him. As we conclude, we also request you to give us feedback on this webinar. There is a link in the chat. Just go tap on it, give us feedback. This is a way to help us improve in areas that we may be lacking, and also to, if you're happy with this, you can always also give us that feedback. We'll be happy to receive it. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Walid. Thank you all for attending. We'll be calling you on for any more trainings. Look out, go follow our social media platform, Shao on Twitter, Shao on LinkedIn. You'll be able to get updates on any events that we have and be able to attend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. I do really appreciate what Shao was just making is really brilliant and significant in the professional community. And we would also be happy to support you guys with your message that you're actually striving to deliver for each and particular day for our community, for everyone. Thank you very much, and thanks for the whole audiences, and I hope to see you again.
All right, thank you. You can now depart at pleasure. Irene Kovsing, I've been the moderator of the day. Thank you.